I was sailing along on a moonlight bay. Hey, y'all, come on in. You're here on a great day.
We have a brand new release today from MacDuff's Soap Company.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you, too.
They would. And for our mention today, Marcus would like to talk about a new beard oil he just got.
Well, it's from Bay Area Beard Care, so that's number one. They're right across the bay from us. But number two, the scent is called Rollin'. Rollin. Any ideas what this smells like? You have 5 seconds. Okay, hold on. You're never going to guess it. The rolls at Texas Roadhouse. You know that they bring you when you sit down, peanut shells on the floor. You break them open, you put some of the honey butter on there, and you can smell the honey butter. Y'all, this is insane. And the oil itself is a lovely, rich, golden brown color. How do you get this?
It's sweet, but it's not too gourmandy. Like, I don't think you get tired of it being on your face. It almost is like the glaze of a donut somehow. And they even came with stickers.
And best yet, a 3D printed armadillo, y'all. And he goes like this. How cool is that? Head over to Bay Area Beard Co. Check out what they've got going on. And what is our soap today?
We have Sapphire Bay, my friends. Let's meet it.
All right, y'all, from the sales page at MacDuff'sSoapCompany.com.
High in the Rockies, the rivers run blue-green from glacial siltstone, ground to powder by ice that's been carving mountains for 10,000 years. The water glows sapphire against the rock. That uncanny alpine color inspired the name. Bay leaf and clove bring the classic warmth. Pink pepper cracks through the air. Juniper and sage sweep in next, clean, wild, and sharp as mountain air.
Then the deeper ground appears. Sandalwood and vetiver settle in like old timber in earth. Frankincense smolders quietly beneath it all. Oak moss lingers at the base wet stone forest floor and the cool mineral breath of glacial water. This is a bay rum after a week in the Rockies. You fill up my senses. So y'all constant viewers will remember Prairie Rum Runner for our early days, but this one has been given some altitude, and it sounds like a whole lot of summer freshness. Come along, let's open the box. All right, y'all, this is how they come from the Shave Supply in Southern California, our closest distributor. And you know something about Garrett's connection to this soap.
He mentioned that they had their honeymoon at Sapphire Bay.
Oh, and of course, a sticker with a shave cabinet.
Wow, look at this label, y'all. They weren't kidding about that blue color. Wow.
And while that is stunning, I picked up this one based on the label alone. This is the other new release coming soon.
I have to say, having MacDuff on the adventure would just make this 10 times better, don't you think?
And it's good he's in a life jacket. I wonder if that connects to his harness. All right, y'all, come along. You're going to see our Bay Rum Queen open this for a first impression.
It's been a while since we've had a new MacDuff's, but I have to say, Sean's nose takes you on the adventure. Wherever he's been, somehow he can paint that with scent. So I feel like after smelling this, we're going to feel like we've been to Sapphire Bay.
All right, take it in, see what you get.
Here's that lovely pour, my friends.
Makes me think of Emerald Bay and Lake Tahoe to my California, Nevada friends, right? All right, take it in.
It does need a long whiff. There's definitely bay rum in here, but the bay almost turns into more of the bay leaf, and that's what brings me more outdoors. So I get the bay rum, my friends, but then follow that for the actual bay leaf within it, and the gentle clove, that's the warm side. And then somehow you open into like the wide open, not quite aquatic, but you can smell everything around you. Like there is more woodsy trees, a little more foresty green happening. So it's kind of got that crisp in the air. Like he's wearing his jacket, I would definitely be layered up. I'm getting lots more of like the dry, warm, herby side, like the actual real area that we're in. So sometimes bay rums have different levels for me. This one has more of like the bay leaf is the portion that I'm getting first, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. That has that fresh air kind of thing that's coming next with it. I'm not getting evergreen or those kind of greens, but I can tell I'm outdoors. So there's something in here that's helping create that part for me. There's something in the herby part that is almost throwing it towards like a tobacco leaf or something. I don't think it was listed, but that's what my brain is getting. It's a wet leaf. I don't think it's the dry tobacco leaf. There's something about that, like watching a cigar be made like those big giant leaves.
Right.
That could have a scent. I feel like you could follow the bay leaf itself into like a tobacco leaf or flower or something. That's kind of making it happen because the spices in here are talking more than I was expecting. Right. So I think that's where they leeway into each other. There may not even be tobacco in here, but that's where my brain wants it to go.
Cured bay leaf as if cured tobacco? Y'all, if anybody's gonna pull that off, it's Sean.
I don't know how something can be so rugged, but still be so clean. Like, I feel like you could wear this and be in a suit and it would totally fit. But to me, the ruggedness side, like, we've earned this view. I don't know if you had to hike there. He's got his little oars going on. Maybe you had to paddle out there, but you've earned to enjoy this whiff. So like the rugged thing to me just adds to like being able to indulge in this moment a little bit more.
Makes perfect sense to me. The food tastes better the longer it took to make it, kind of thing.
I think because of the warmer spices, my brain pictures this as more of like a fall or winter scent. But I do feel like if you are super hot during the summer, this is exactly where you would want to escape to feel like it's a little cooler outside than it maybe really is. This is definitely more a braver version of a bay rum, I think. I love that the last Sunduff was like, this is if a bay rum had been in the Rockies for a week, because it's in here. It's just adding a ruggedness to it and a realness, I think, with all of like the foresty sort of elements. I'm not getting more of the predictive like evergreens, that kind of side. I'm getting more of the fresh air off of the bay. So I like that it's including that. I don't get the aquatic side, but there's something that helps me know there's like a fog crispness that you only get when you're that close to water. That kind of cool part of the air is coming through. So I think there's subtle greens in here, but I'm not exactly sure how they're happening. Go for it!
Well, the thing about bay rums for me is they go all the way back to memories of my great grandfather. By the time my grandfather came along, it was Avon Cologne and Burma Shave and those kind of things. So I'm not as nostalgic as some for the bay rums, but it gives me some more room to explore inside of them, I think, because I don't have any expectations. I think his came like right off the leaf somehow.
Now see what you get here.
All right, here we go. Taking it in. Oh. You know how songs have a hook? You know? And colognes have an edge. You come in, you kind of start getting a sense. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it rugged? Is it light? And then your nose hits that edge. Burma Shave's edge is very light. Aquavelva's edge is more palpable. The edge of this is a beautiful, and as you said, somehow slightly cured, slightly malleable bay leaf, but it doesn't get astringent or squinchy the way that the tea tree oil kind of sense of a lot of bay rums do. Y'all, this doesn't go that far for me, which is interesting because you would think that would take the natural edge off of it. For me, it puts the natural edge back, because when you smell bay on the tree, you're not getting that broken open bay rum kind of astringent sense. You're getting much more of a gentle, on the breeze, eased into it bay feel, and then right to the point where you can feel the edge and you start walking on it. That's where you realize you are in a basin in the Rocky Mountains and you're looking up at the spices and the breeze and the wind. Ooh. Hold on. Wow, and it gives that bay a sense of warmth. That is the summer sun on my face. And the cool thing is the movement in this soap is that it pulls against the cool factors, the clean water parts, the Rocky Mountain snow parts of this. And I'm going to say it. Generally, in a set like this from Sean, there would be a certain amount of perfuming in the base that would be familiar. Most perfumers do this. I'm not sensing that in this. In this, I am sensing this as a brand new creation from the very ground up. So it's got some really interesting new nooks and crannies in those darker base notes for me. Let me explore. Ooh, there's a resin that is woody and sweet and almost speaks to smoke for me, but not like an incense. That's the frankincense, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
But not like a churchy incense. More almost like frankincense masquerading as cade. So I'm getting like a campfire sense of this from my camping days of my family growing up. Boy, and you're right. About 2/3 of this, balancing out the warmth of that cured bay, is a super crisp breeze from the snowpack down to your camp. How's he doing that? Hold on, it's not floral. I don't think either, which is kind of amazing. Oh God, it's like a honey. It's like a sweet rock. It's like a resin. Oh.
But nothing in here goes gourmandy,
Oh, no.
right?
No.
So that's
Oh,
where it's
right.
not. It's real. It's like
Right.
a real place.
Sean could make a gourmand out of a horse saddle. Y'all, that is not at all what's going on here. My
Different
mouth is not
route.
watering at all. Glad you said that. And you know, I often talk about my little compass rose, scents going high or low or wide. This is one of the widest MacDuff's I've ever smelled. There is so much going on the timeline if you're with on this. And I guess here's why the giddy switch has been turned on in me. There is something absolutely beguiling in this balance. Unexpected, brand new. You know how when your nose first took in Obsession for Men? Something like that. You were just like, whoa, how did those scent notes do that? A much less crowded version of that is happening in this for me because Obsession is pretty dense. But that kind of cleverness, that kind of like, wow, you really had a eureka moment when you were blending this, is here.
How are you getting the clove? Because usually I can't get my nose to not smell it. But here it's blended so strategically.
Subtle. So, you know how in my Texas rolls, beard oil, I kind of get a vague wisp of cinnamon. The same way with a very dry martini, you just point it toward the vermouth and go, vermouth. That's how I'm getting the clove. Almost a cinnamony sense, but so light in the background that it's almost coming off as somebody 3 doors down is making a cinnamon roll. Which is good, because in our sample of clove from Perfumer's Apprentice, it gets dark and really smoky. You have to do special things with it to get it to do what it's doing here.
I wonder if that's where the frankincense is helping balance it out or something.
Right. And I hope this makes sense. Oh, I hope this makes sense. You know how I often wax romantical about the scent of my best friend's house growing up?
Good.
But I often accredit that sense to his mom, Cynthia, because she would use the carpet fresh potpourri stuff and this fabulous laundry stuff, but it had a momness scent to it. Well, if my best friend lived alone at the age of 8 and kept an impeccable house and didn't want the momness smells to it, this is what a best friend's guy's house would smell like. You know what's funny too? Having gotten to know Sean a little bit over the last few years, this could be his signature scent.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Right? I think like out of his whole line, I hope you like Bayram, Sean. I think out of his whole line, if I met him, this is what I would expect it to smell like, which means there's art here, and there's whimsy here, and there's character here, but mostly there's kindness here, and there's friendliness in this Bayram, which I don't think every Bayram carries. I think some Bayrams are about the medicinals, are kind of about the boundaries. This isn't. This is about a warm handshake.
Everything just feels so real, if that could make sense.
And then, last step, I finally found the dark.
Yeah?
I finally found it.
Okay.
All it is the pepper. Okay. All it is, look, imagine the pepper grinder, and that little sense you get as the pepper bursts open, that's in there. And then it goes away fast. It goes away fast.
It does. But that's like the peak of where the scent's at.
And if you want to see what other peaks exist among these Rockies, come along with us. We're going to look at the scent notes and build a lather. All right, let's get the obvious out of the way here. At the beginning, bay leaf and clove. But you know how we were watching the cigar rollers the other day? And those leaves are like damp? Mm-hmm. That's the bay leaf.
Yep.
So normally where it would crack, it's just going to go like...
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of like the fogginess in the air. Like there is a damp kind of quality when you're close to water like that.
I'm so glad you said foggy. Somebody this morning was asking about sylvan fog.
Oh, yeah.
In the Czech Gorguts, I think. Doesn't that smell a bit like fog?
I want to put it there. Even if it's not meant to be there, there is the next thing is listed mountain herbs. So there could be some magic in what those actually are doing. I'm going to say yes.
And my family had a cabin at Lake Alpine, California, in amongst these amazing herbs and spices that would grow naturally throughout. We even had like a cistern in front. We'd pump the water from the well.
Yeah.
Like it was a cabin, and it did have that beautiful sense of mountain herbs and a heat that accompanied them, which I think the cool heat from the bay leaf mixing with those mountain herbs has given me a sense of camping. Do you get the sandalwood? That might be the only one, ironically, where I'm like, eh?
Okay, I know it has to be in here because it's keeping it from getting too dark. If you were to follow just the bay leaf and the clove into the mountain herbs, I think it would start to get a little darker, more like a deep colored brown for me.
Yeah.
But there is something lighter. It must be the secret weapon of how that sandalwood and pink pepper are having their moment.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, the frankincense, that I'm getting more like a cade, which is weird because they're not the same. A little bit more like a campfire. How are you sensing the frankincense?
So now that I'm reading that it's in here, it makes total sense. But that's where I think I was getting more like almost a tobacco-y kind of thing coming through. Like my brain was taking that, or like the ember kind of feel, something in there. So any of those should work if that helps you.
And I was watching Kaizen this morning, our episode with y'all on the chat, and I noticed that one of the scent notes was vetiver, and I looked at the camera and went, lies. Well, when I pick it up now and I smell it, I can totally get the vetiver, but you kind of have to know which vetiver you're looking for. There's like 900 different kinds of vetiver. It's not like a dry, grassy way. It's almost, even though it doesn't smell like backyard lawn clippings, it has the sense of heat and nostalgia of backyard lawn clippings.
I don't think I would have guessed that oak moss was in here either. Usually we notice that right away, especially because Marcus isn't sure how to file that one either. But I have to say, the vetiver and oak moss in here, maybe when we lather, that will change. But they are a wonderful send-off.
It's like anchovies in pasta sauce. If it's used right, you can't really tell they're in there. Fantastic. But otherwise, when oak moss lifts its head above the crowd for me, I like to whack-a-mole. Now, when I went to grab our brush and bowl for today's episode, I thought if I had to pick only one brush and bowl to keep on a desert island, which two would I keep? And here's the thing. When you're on a desert island, it's not about art, and it's not about pretty, and it's not about nostalgia. Otherwise, it might be my KUN bowl or my Coca-Cola brush or my tiki brush, something like this. No, nay. If you're up in the mountains and you're hiking and you need a utilitarian lather kit, I offer you these two champions. This is my Sterling 24mm stubby brush. I absolutely adore this thing. Even the low profile of the handle makes me feel like I'm really getting in there amongst the bristles. This is my 22 gauge stainless steel lather bowl from Pete Hendricks at HC&C. I call it my no-nonsense lather bowl. I also call it my work animal. Pete sent her one at the very beginning of our journey as a gift, and I bought this one immediately. A little soap on a stick, and Sean might suggest that you not tub load the soaps because they're so soft, although Foxy Matt will do it anyway. And then pull a little water out of the mountain stream up there in the Rockies, and y'all watch this. I'm just going to take my dry bristles to the soap, and with MacDuff's, after about 10 seconds, it's already loaded onto the brush. Now, you notice there's no lather yet. In fact, there's no soap left. It's all hiding here. Take this right to the face, right to the legs. But if you want to do it in the bowl, go down there, grab the water, and start spinning. Clockwise at first, counterclockwise second. The Jerry Plessy maneuver, just go ham on it, back and forth for a second, and then every 20 seconds or so, spin the brush in your hand. Give the bristles a new orientation to attack the soap with. And y'all, look at this in real time. We're halfway to our lather. Can we talk for a second about the waves coming off of the bowl? The bay is the star of that.
I'm actually getting a little more of the clove, too, with it that I wasn't expecting.
Me too. And kind of in its smoky quality.
Right. I think the frankincense-y, like, kind of smoldery kind of thing's coming through, too.
John, the frankincense and the clove are what are holding hands in here, and that's your Red Rover. Red Rover, send bay leaf right over. Now, my cousin Melinda of Barbershop Duet fame got bored on a trip to LA once and took a coffee creamer from Denny's she had at breakfast before she left and shook it. The entire trip down, I hope she was not driving. When she got there and opened it up, it was butter. It was like butter and buttermilk. There is something that happens, y'all, to these lathers if you let it go an extra 2 or 3 minutes, where the consistency really does start to change and you feel like Aunt Eller on the front porch with your butter churner. Okay, I'm excited about this because I think these are going to be very different. This is something you only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Bay or the Rockies whiff. On 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you are so right about there being a little tobacco in there. I would bet my eye teeth on it. Hold on. It's not in here.
No.
There's so much that comes out in that. It's like it inflated.
Like if someone put this under my nose and they didn't tell me what it was, I think my brain would almost think that there was like a super fresh tobacco plant of some sort hanging out in
100%.
Here. It's just the warmer spices. I think it's the mountain herbs, something in there that's recreating that kind of a whiff, but I'm thoroughly digging it.
Me too. I don't feel like it's denser in scent than the other MacDuff's, but I kind of feel like these notes are clicking together with even above average genius.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like it's not that they're stacked too closely, but somehow they're meshing together so well you don't want to pull them apart.
Having messed with our raw ingredients from our perfumer's organ, we're starting to get a sense of how hard things like this are to create. And y'all, make sure you check out the Canadian Mafia on Instagram. But we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet. We thought you might like to see what this lather looks like when it comes and covers. It's funny, we never get questions about how do you make a MacDuff lather. You just look at it and it kind of makes
Ta-da!
itself. It's just magic what they've done with the bay. And now it doesn't get medicinal. It does not get astringent. It's just been tamed with a whip and a chair.
Like, I just reached for Market Days the other night, and that's like the complete opposite somehow, like season-wise. Like, I'd reach for that one when it's sunshiny outside. This one, when I need to be cozy and calm, like, that's where I'm going to reach for this one. MacDuff's has you covered.
And if American Vintage would come back to the razor company, I would be a happy man. Well, y'all, come along with us. We're going to take this down a little bit deeper. I think when most people say bay, they have a different connotation. Because, like, Emerald Bay in Lake Tahoe is small. I'm pretty sure you could have the entire thing carpeted. We live on the banks of San Francisco Bay, which is massive. And, like, different parts of the bay have their own little ecosystems and their own microclimates. So there's not, like, a bay smell. Oh, there is, like, a bay smell, but...
The tide's out.
So this takes me to, like, those small, little charming inlets and the little lakes and rivers that we have here in California. Those are the kind of herbs and clean water senses you're getting in this.
I do love the spin on the name, though, because Sapphire Bay is a location, but also a bay leaf. Putting those together,
Great.
Pretty genius.
And the funny thing is, you normally wouldn't picture the color sapphire
Yeah.
when you smell a bay rum, but with this, 100%.
Yeah.
This is not a yellow bay rum, it's a blue one.
But this does make me want to get a passport so that we could go to this location, because my goodness.
Is it in Canada? My voice is my passport. Verify me. So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be boarding a Hornblower cruise ship on the banks of Lake Tahoe, headed for the beautiful and mysterious Emerald Bay. And just about the time you see the last rays of sun hit the water and it turns a vibrant shade of green, you're going to ask the captain, how does nature do that? And as the ship runs aground, he's going to say, well, it's because it's so shallow here, the water gets algae in it, and you're going to get your own. So head over to MacDuff'sSoapCompany.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Sapphire Bay, and every time I use the MacDuff's lather, I'm reminded not only how easily that lather gets built, but how functional it is. My razors are unafraid to do every pass in the world that they want to do. But hold on a second. Let's talk about the scent. There are some fabulous bay rums out there, but they're not really the bay rum that I remember. They're not the one from my childhood. My great-grandfather literally was working on the railroad. He was a conductor, and he wore a very astringent, very medicinal bay rum, one of my earliest memories. But y'all, here's the thing. Where a lot of other bay rums are not that bay rum at all. They do a great job of inverting the scent and coming at it from a whole new way. This is that bay rum, except it's been given such a giant hug by everything else going on in here that by the time it gets to the medicinal part, the other scent notes balance it out and make it vanish. And all you're left with is that beautiful heart of the bay spice itself, surrounded by a beautiful trip out to the middle of Emerald Bay, in my imagination, in Lake Tahoe for a moonlight cruise. And what better way to shave your face in the morning? Thank you, Sean and MacDuff's. We'll be back for a cup of tea very soon. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our April giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get $25 to Noble Honor.
Yeah, all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send us an email. Here to we sent you at thebarbershopduet.com so we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first May episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck. So I'm realizing we didn't have the conversation if this is just bay leaf or if there's actual bay rum going on in here, because it's not listed as bay rum, but my brain swears it almost gets like an amber-hued liquor kind of a vibe when I really go digging in here. Could be how the frankincense or something on the exit is getting there. I don't think it's actually in here, but my brain feels like it's getting darn close.
You know, it's not like the heat of the alcohol. I've said that sometimes.
Right.
No, you know what it is? The very specific smells of the wood casks that hold brandy or whiskey or wine, That's what your
I can
nose
see that.
is getting. Somehow the woods in here are adding a sense that there was, at one time, rum present.
But if you are not a fan of where the rum in Bay Rum happens, I think this is a wonderful spin-off of being able to have all of the benefits of the Bay
Absolutely.
without the rum.
Absolutely. And if we could have a brief meeting here on camera, this is my favorite Bay Rum that I've ever smelled.
There
and
you
I
go.
think it's because it's kind of a flanker. It's kind of a Rocky Mountain Bay Rum.
Right.
But that doesn't take away from its Bay Rum qualities. I don't even know if you would realize it's a kind of a flanker-ish Bay Rum. That's how subtle those Rocky Mountain elements combine with the Bay. But it's how they tame the Bay and make it the last thing that my mom put in her soup and the first thing that I want to put on my shoulders. Beautiful, natural, subtle, masculine, woody, deep, and almost tobacco.
I think you could reach for Prairie Rum Runner if you want more of the rum, kind of that portion of it, more adventure in a different way. This one has more of that tame, calm, kind of cozy thing coming through because of those clove and bay along with the mountain herbs. There's just like a human nature quiet that kicks in.
And while this is certainly not the first MacDuff's to earn this designation, and I never saw this coming, I would like to nominate this for the 2026 Masterpiece Collection. Congratulations, Sean and MacDuff's. This is an extraordinary soap, Bay Rum or not.
I really thought me as the Bay Rum Queen would have been the one to nominate, but I totally understand where it's coming from.
It's because it's so awesome. Well, if you're married to somebody that doesn't like opera, and you drag them to the opera all the time, right? I mean, I like beers, but you know what I mean.
Right.
All of a sudden, they find an opera that really blows their skirt up.
Hey. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
It'll smell better just watching this.